This is my second year here, and it's just amazing. It's my favorite thing. I look forward to it all year. Last year I was able to work in Benny Green's combo, and this year I was able to work in Terrell Stafford's combo. Terrell is a great guy, virtuosic musician. He's just the most impressive thing to me about him. I already knew that he could play, but as an educator, he's able to communicate on all of the different instruments, you know, how it should be, how traditionally the music was, and like say, oh, drummer, why don't you try this? Bass player, why don't you try this technique? And he's studied all of the instruments so that he knows the technical terms, and just you don't get that from a lot of educators. We really clicked, you know. We're all ages and different backgrounds. We have Kotaro from Japan. He hardly speaks any English, and we had a couple guys in high school, a couple guys in college, graduated from college, and you know, the chemistry was great. Everybody was listening. Everybody was really concerned about the musicality, and we just had a great time all week. We just performed out on the green, and we actually got an opportunity to perform yesterday as well as part of one of the clinics where Terrell was talking about the music of Benny Golson. So it was really fun because usually there's a lot of pressure on this last performance here, you know, like everything the whole week is building up to it. But the way I look at it, because we got to do two, we sort of got a second shot. It was like, oh, well, maybe I didn't get to this thing on that solo, but I'm going to have another chance. Or maybe, oh, I played this solo, but now I want to try to make it a little bit different. So for me, that was kind of a unique experience. Other than that, I'm from the South of the United States, and the only time I've ever been out on the West Coast is here at Port Townsend, and I'm just so amazed by the natural beauty here. So for me to stand in a beautiful environment and just be looking up at the trees and the sky and just play music, there's nothing better in the world. So I was lucky enough to receive a scholarship here for the second year in a row, almost a full scholarship, and truthfully, I wasn't optimistic that I would be able to come back here this year because I'm a graduate student living in New York City, in Manhattan, and trying to support myself playing music. I don't have a day job. I'm not being supported by my parents. So you can imagine, financially in this economy, it's a little bit stringent, you know. So I was thinking, like, oh, this summer I'll probably have to get a day job and just work and stay in New York. And then I amazingly one night received the email that I had received financial aid from this camp, and I was just blown away because I thought to myself, you know, I've been in school for a while. I know how scholarships work. Generally, they give people money because they want them to come to the school so that the school looks better so that they can attract more people and get more money. You know, it's almost kind of a selfish thing in a way. But here, it just seems like a completely generous act because I don't feel like they're really getting much out of me being here. I mean, it's not an equal trade. I'm coming here, I'm taking all of this knowledge and all this music and just spiritual enlightenment for basically nothing. And that just makes me feel like I want to give back in any way I can, you know. So I think that just puts everybody in a really good mood here. The atmosphere here is electric and so warm, and it's just like John says, it's just a big family, you know, and you can't not feel that when you're here. John is just one of those guys. He's just a beacon of light, you know. When he addresses a person singular or a whole room or just through his music, you can just feel the emotion pouring out of him. And I've admired him from the first time I heard him, and I heard him talk. He's imparted some wisdom that are my daily mantras, you know, that just get me through, you know, struggling as an artist. And this year, seeing his son Gerald, I didn't really know Gerald, but Gerald is a lot closer to my age, and seeing that being carried through on another generation is even more inspiring to me, because I think Gerald is carrying the torch that John started, and you know, as being from a similar generation, we relate in different ways. You know, we have different musical influences, and we talk in a different way. So both John and Gerald and everybody who's been touched by John is just, you know, spreading love in music, and it's just amazing. My instrument is tenor saxophone. The faculty this year is Jaleel Shaw on alto, Dana Stevens on tenor, and Adam Schroeder on baritone. They're all great. And again, they're all younger guys. They're all, I believe, around 30 years old. And this was, each one of them, their first experience teaching at a clinic environment like this for a week, an intensive thing. And being that I'm an aspiring teacher, it was really cool to see them kind of feeling their way through it and learning from all the different teachers here. You know, honestly, when I wanted to come here again this year, it wasn't because of the saxophone faculty, because I love saxophone, but I didn't know Dana, and I didn't know Adam. I knew Jaleel from New York, but you know, they weren't guys like, oh, I really want to go and study with these guys. I'm here because of all the faculty, especially the vocalists. I just love vocalists, and 3 of my favorite vocalists are here this year: Sarah Gazarek, Gretchen Parlato, and Sashal Vasandani. They're just so inspiring to me. So every chance I got this week, I was just hanging out with the vocalists and, hanging out with Benny Green, who's another really inspiring person, piano player, and just everyone. Getting to work with Terrell, just every instrument. I don't feel there's a whole lot that we can't learn from other instruments that we can only learn from our instruments, except for really technical things. But the general feeling I have on that is that everybody finds their own way. Like in the saxophone master classes, everyone's asking about reeds and mouthpieces, but everybody has a different answer for that, and there's no secret formula. But really, what we're all here for is music, and we can all just share our ideas about music and how we choose to express ourselves. And I look at this more not as like a workshop, but almost a forum, because the faculty is all learning from each other. They're all checking each other out. They're even listening to the students, and everybody's just sharing knowledge and learning. And it's just, that's what makes it such an electric, inspiring environment, I think. Shout out to everybody in New York. I miss New York every day. I love it so much. Shout out to some of my friends who were here last year but couldn't make it back this year because of financial reasons. Really missed you guys, and everybody here. I'm not really one for shout outs. I'm sorry. Check out my website, chrismillerjazz.com. Twitter/ChrisMillerJazz, Facebook/Chris Miller page. Follow Centrum on Twitter. It's PT Centrum, and Twitter is the wave of the future. You can try to resist it, but it will swallow you up.